Hey, Mitch, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, great. We'll get started with questions, and Matt will have our first question.
Hey, Mitch, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Looking at your season and really your 3-year run here, you haven't missed many games. I think it's like 2 games. What's it been like to kind of settle into this season, and have that kind of consistency where you're available every game?
Yeah, I think it's a point of pride, right? Um, Availability in this league is paramount to the team's success, and as well as just as an offensive lineman, continuity goes a very long way. I've been very fortunate to be put in a position here where they help me find a routine to help my body, as well as just you learn as you go as a professional how to take onus of being available. So yeah, it's part of the gig. It's part of it is you can't totally put the nail on the head on why certain guys have injury issues or whatnot or availability. You live and you learn in some cases, and in some cases you just kind of get dealt a bad hand. So I've been very fortunate these past 3 years, knock on wood, trying to just be available for my team.
And Sean mentions the support staff, the training staff, and the work that they do. Is there anything specifically that you noticed here that they do well and has kind of led to some of that success you guys have had staying healthy?
Well, I think from top to bottom, people trust other people's jobs, right? So the sports science department job is to give recommendations on practice length, on what to do, when to push us, when to hold back. They also do player screening. So each individual player has certain target areas they need to work on, whether it be pliability or strengthening in certain things. So I think there's just an open dialogue and just trusting throughout the building on people's jobs and listening to what they have to say.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mitch, it's Kim Jones from NFL Network. How are you?
I'm good, Kim. How are you?
I'm terrific. Thanks so much. I have 2 quick ones for you, if I may. The first is, what kind of a challenge is Chris Jones?
He's an immense challenge. I think a player who's just gotten better and better over the years. Not only physically is he gifted, he understands the game, understands his opponent, and brings a competitive fire and edge to a game that you want on your team. So it brings a very formidable challenge to anyone he's facing.
And secondly, I can't tell you over these past several years how many people have asked me what Josh Allen is like. I'm guessing most people at some point have said to you, hey, what's Josh really like? What's that answer?
He's just a big kid who is fiercely competitive and loyal to his teammates. And what that does is that brings the best out of the guys around him. You have a guy who's willing to lay his body out there, even though we want him to slide more often than not. That's just not in his DNA. So immense pride in who he is, and a big kid and very approachable, and that's what makes him so special.
Terrific, Mitch. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that. Mitch, you got me?
I do.
Perfect. Kind of going off of that, you played with both Patrick and Josh. So what makes both of them so special from what you've seen?
Both fiercely competitive players. Through the ebbs and flows of a season, the game, they're unwavering in their professionalism and their fiery spirit. Both guys who are very approachable as people. And both guys who are loved by their locker rooms, respectively.
And then what is it about Josh Allen that makes the whole team just want to run through a wall for him?
Because he'd run through a wall for you. And he'll be the first one to do it, and then we'll follow suit. So loves his teammates truly, And with something like that, it's easy to go to battle with a guy.
That's amazing. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Big Mitch, Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo Sports Cincinnati. How you doing today, big guy?
I'm good, Mookie. How are you, buddy?
I'm great today. A little cold, but that's typical here in Buffalo these days. But this Chiefs defense goes how Chris Jones basically goes. And in the AFC Championship game, Coach talked about the lack of physicality up front. How will this O-line unit be able to win their battles up front Sunday?
Well, I think that whole defensive front, that defense, especially the last half of the season has really kind of been sparked by how that front four is playing. You bring a guy in, Chris, and everyone else around that defensive line. It'll be a great challenge to match that physicality, because we know that when the stakes are so high in this game, they'll bring their best effort. So it'll be our job to match that intensity, and it'll be a great competitive environment.
Yes, sir, man. And with that being said, I know you come from Kansas City. So, I mean, how bad do you really want this game?
I want this game for my team. I want this game for my team so that we can take that next step, because we have a bad taste in our mouth. Not so much from this game last year against this team, but just with what we felt like we had. These moments are fleeting for every player, and I think you ask the veterans, and that's definitely true. So when you have opportunities like this in the divisional round, you want to take advantage.
If I could, man, how's baby DJ doing?
He's doing great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you asking.
Absolutely, man. Hey, good luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Mitch. How you doing today?
I'm good, Sal. How are you?
I am okay. Hey, look, you sort of spoke about it with the defensive line of the Chiefs, but can you speak to how different this defense is than it was in week 5? They didn't have Jones that night. Ingram wasn't on the team yet. I think Ward missed that game. I think Clark was hurt in that. Just how different is this challenge going to be compared to what it was in week 5?
Yeah, it'll be a tremendous challenge. I thought they played with an intensity that was admirable last game too, but understanding that they have key pieces back in the lineup, added a few pieces like Ingram, who's a phenomenal player who can really change the game, and guys who might have been a little bit injured are now healthy. I mean, you can just tell them the speed that they play. They have a fire about them. So it'll be a tremendous challenge for our offensive line and for our offense to execute and match that intensity, understanding that this game is going to have ebbs and flows. So it'll be fun.
Great. Thanks, Mitch.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mitch, good to see you. I was curious about Reggie Gilliam. His role is obviously varied game by game based off what the game plan is, but has had a pretty consistent role the last stretch. Just what have you seen him add to this team and how his role has kind of helped you guys?
Yeah, Reggie's one of those guys that only knows one speed in practice and in games. He's a thumper and just a football player. Guy who won't say much, but takes tremendous pride in his job and his role, and we just love him for it. And he executes at a high level when his number's called.
When he gets that opportunity in games, how do you see that mentality of practice translate to the game itself?
I mean, he's just thumping dudes. And in practice, we're just like, hey, man, this is our team. I don't have to be thumping these guys like that. But he just knows one speed and he goes for it.
Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's all we have time for today. Thanks, Mitch.
You're welcome.
Hey, Micah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right, awesome. We'll get started with questions, and Thad will have our first question.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? You hear me okay?
Yeah, Dad, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Hey, what kind of new dimension maybe does Jerick McKinnon provide this Kansas City offense?
He's electric, man. He gets the ball in his hands and he's downhill, making guys miss and he's just like you just mentioned, a little bit dynamic. And I played him in the past when he was in Minnesota. Smaller guy, but he's strong. He's a strong runner, and a guy that we have to definitely gang tackle.
As good as this team is with yards after catch, how much of a win is it for you to be able, not necessarily to prevent the throw, but prevent everything after the throw if you can?
Oh, it's huge. We talk about that a lot every time we play these guys. It's a whole, the play happens and there's a whole nother play after it. You got to find the receivers, you got to find the tight ends, you got to find the backs, and you got to have eyes on the quarterback, guys up front, to try to prevent them from getting anything downfield. These guys they can literally score on any single play. Like you put on the film from, the last couple of years, and you can see that these guys can score on any play. So you have to really just hone in on plastering the receivers and tight ends and backs, and try to force every single throw for Mahomes to be a contested throw.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Micah, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. Leslie Frazier always seems to refer back to that Atlanta game in week 3 in 2017 as when he saw signs of the secondary really becoming its potential. Did you see it back then? I mean, there was a 2-pick performance for you. Did you see signs of things coming together at that point?
Man, I don't.
I know it was long ago.
It was a long time ago. I would say no. I guess I didn't see it yet. It was too early in the season. To be honest, that 2017 season, it felt like the whole season, Poe and I, our minds were just spinning. We didn't have the defense 100% down, so we were out in the game and we were making calls. And if you go back and watch the film, we were not 100% with making calls, but we were just out there just playing fast and getting to the football. So I guess I didn't see it then. I can't really tell you what the turning point when I saw it was, but I just know that, whenever we've been out there, we've just been out there trying to compete and not give up big plays. And I guess it holds true today.
Yeah, what's it mean to you? And I know you've been asked this question over the years, but you and Jordan just being the first of that free agency recruiting class to be together and still to be together right now, and now finally getting the accolades with Jordan getting the All-Pro thing and you getting the second team. What's that mean to you, to you and Jordan, perhaps?
Honestly, I told somebody last week, it's an honor. You understand growing up, just being a kid and having a dream of playing the NFL, and then to be considered one of the best at your position in the NFL is just it's mind blowing to me. I know 30 years from now I'll look back and be like, wow, that was pretty impressive. But right now, I'm just more happy for Poe because of I've gotten that honor before. I've been selected to a Pro Bowl, but Poe's kind of just flew under the radar for the last 5 years, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be as good. And I know if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be as good. We've just been helping each other out this whole time. So, those honors they mean a lot to us. But at the end of the day, I think that the team honors are what we're here for. I want to win a Super Bowl. I've said that. I believe that. Take away my honors and give me a Super Bowl, and I'll take that any day. But that's just the type of people that we are, and we're going to continue to work. But it really is a blessing to get the recognition that, I feel like we both deserve. And, since we've been doing for 5 years now. Last thing, if I may, and I'm sorry for taking so much time, but on the interception Saturday, at what point did you have any doubt you were going to close in on that ball? You know what? It's just something that we practiced a lot. Coming out of the post or coming off the hash and just putting your head down and finding the receiver. And like I said after the game, I kind of just blacked out. And even right now thinking about it, I just was running. I looked up and I was able to spot the ball, which is that's hard to do. It's rare to do. You just look up right away and find the ball. And I did that, and I was able to track it. And it's just something that we practice a lot. We have the jugs in here. We were doing it yesterday and over the shoulder catches and stuff like that. So, I just think that it was an awesome play. Everybody loved it, but it didn't just happen. It was stuff that we continue to work on in practice, and I was in the position to do it. Thanks, Micah. Of course.
Hey, Micah, good to see you. How you doing?
You too, man.
So you have the greatest show that you get to watch, this Bills offense. You've talked about it before. What is it about Josh Allen that makes this whole team want to run through a wall?
He's himself. Since he got here a few years ago, he's just been himself, and he cares about everybody in the locker room. He's boys with everybody in the locker room. Like, he's a big kid. He just wants to be around the guys. And you know, if I could say what I really wanted to say about Josh Allen and how he ranks in this league, you know, I could go on for days. Like, he is a dog. Like, everything that he does, arm, leg, mentality, leadership, everything that he does, man, he's fit for this role that he's in right now. So, you know, he's one of the leaders of our team. When he goes, our team goes, and he understands that. And you know, it's just a blessing to have him and to be able to work with him every single day. And like I said, I can go on for days. I guess I'll just stop right there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
General Hyde, Mookie Hawkins, Waffle Sports Cincinnati. What's going on, guy?
Mook, how you doing, man?
Hey, I need your approval on this. Now, for the past 2 years, I've been calling this secondary the air traffic control unit, the way y'all control things in the air. Can I get your approval on that? You know, I know it's no-fly zones, and I know it's Legion of Booms. What you think about that?
I mean, you know, I like it. I don't know if I can approve it, because I feel like myself approving the nickname is, you know, I don't want to say bad luck, but, you know, I just want to be, you know, who we are and continue to work. But if you want to say that, you can say that. That's on you.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of Sunday, do you expect to see double moves out of Kansas City? And how decisive can Patrick Mahomes be with his eyes?
I expect to see everything out of Kansas City. You know, just on film, they do it all. They do it all. And like I said, they can score on any play. You know, it's their dynamic offense, are explosive. So yeah, we can definitely see it all. And then with Mahomes, another guy that can do it all. He can beat you with his arm, beat you with his legs. As far as being a safety, he can look you off and go the other way. He has weapons all over the field. You know, they're got a genius calling plays, so they're able to, you know, try to get some one-on-ones and stuff like that. And those one-on-ones present itself to try to do some double moves. So we just got to be ready for everything and, you know, stick to our fundamentals. And whenever, you know, we always you know, whenever we get in games like this, just tries to hold true. Don't give up big plays and compete.
What do you think it's going to take to get the job done up in Arrowhead?
Complementary football. Offense doing what they do, defense making plays, taking the ball away, and special teams is bringing the energy.
Absolutely, man. Safe travels and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Micah, it's Mike Catalana. You've won on the road in the playoffs in Green Bay, but this particular group, different teams, different years, 3 road games, and you haven't won. What does it take in the playoff atmosphere to win? And how do you go from playing at home like you had last week to embracing what it's going to be like in Kansas City and maybe even using that to your advantage in some way to feed off the crowd if that's the way you decide to play it?
Yeah, well, I think the last 3, you just mentioned the last 3 away games in the playoffs we lost, but I didn't even think about that. Like, that's not even something we think about, because even with those games, we felt like we came out, started fast. You know, the game just happened to end up how it ended up. But, you know, I think as competitors that we all are, you know, we love home games. We love being in front of Bills Mafia. But at this point, you know, wherever we go, Bills Mafia follows us. So that's number one. Number two, it's kind of cool playing in front of a away crowd, just because, you know, you're in enemy territory. You got your boys with you, who you've been with all year facing adversity. And it's another challenge. So it's kind of cool playing home and away. But like I said, Bills Mafia travels anyway. So they're going to be loud.
And when you talk about trying to maybe embrace that, is it almost something where it's, you know, us, even though the fans do travel, it's obviously going to be mostly Chiefs fans, where it's like us against the world and you guys enjoy that?
Yeah, if you're a competitor, you better enjoy it. You know, and I just, like I said, I just like going into a away place with my boys with me. And you know, we've been facing adversity all year, and, you know, just trying to come out of it and get a win, no matter what way, doesn't matter. Just try to get a win, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Micah, I hate to put you in a position to say something positive or nice about Isaiah McKenzie, but I have to ask you about something. I know, but there's been some people that have been, comparing what he can do in an interesting way to like Deebo Samuel, the guy that you can pretty much line up anywhere and have him do kind of anything. And I know Deebo Samuel's had a lot of success in this league, but I guess from a defensive perspective, how difficult is it to deal with a guy like that you don't know where he's going to line up, and wherever he lines up, he can do so many different things?
Yeah. I mean, you basically said it. He can line up everywhere. It's difficult. Even when we go back to training camp, practicing against these guys in practice, even when Isaiah's on the scout team, doing some stuff, like he's a weapon for our team. And anytime you got a guy like that can run the ball, catch the ball, return, it's just dynamic. There's only a few guys like that in the league now. You mentioned Deebo. Debo's a big dude. Little Dirty's not. So I don't know how he's getting those. I don't know how he's getting those comparisons because he's a little man. But no, he's definitely dynamic, and he's a weapon for us, and we appreciate everything he does.
And seeing some of these pregame or mic'd up segments, you really get a glimpse into, the psyche of it all, like getting yourself amped up before the game. Is that tough to do week after week after week? Does it become a grind, or what's that like?
You know what? That's a very good question. That really is. Because I don't call us crazy, man, especially on defense. You got to be crazy to play defense. You got to go out there each and every week, and you got to have the mindset that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to tackle well. I'm going to be violent. I'm going to, I kind of got to tippy toe around this whole thing because I just feel like, I can't. There's just so much aggression that you have to have on defense and even on offense. But when you're going out there, man, it's a whole different mentality. It's like a gladiator mentality. Like you got to fight. It's a dog fight each and every week. And I feel like the good teams and the good defenses and those type of players like that, you got to bring it each and every week. And it's funny, Poe's thing got leaked out or whatever, or got posted, and everyone's like, I love it. Like I love it. Yeah, like that's the stuff that we go through each and every game. Like we got to hype each other up. We know, we practice harder or just as hard as anybody else in the league. So we got to go out there on Sundays and we got to show it. And call us crazy, but that's the mentality you got to have. It's definitely not good to be having that mentality working in a cubicle and having a 9 to 5 because you're gonna be fired real quick or put in jail. But here in this building, you got to have that mentality on Sundays.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Of course, yep.
Hey, Micah. I wanted to ask about Matt Milano. Just you guys didn't have him when you played Kansas City last time. We've seen what he's done on defense all year. So just what does he bring to this team, and what will it be to have him for this game?
Lano's he's like a unicorn in a sense. He can do it all. He really can. He can blitz. He can tackle. He can cover. He can, he has good hand. He can do it all. And I just think that goes back to his former background. He was a safety back